Playing Pokemon as a gym leader has always been a fantasy of mine, and finally, this fan game lets you do exactly that. Running your own gym, taking on challenges, and building your city from nothing into a thriving money-making machine. So, I played this entire game from start to finish. Here's what happened. We start the game by choosing our type. Like all gym leaders, we can only specialize in one type of Pokemon for our gym. But I want my gym to be the greatest, coolest gym ever. So, naturally, I picked the coolest type, Fire. We're also given a choice of 3 starters, so I obviously take the best one, Growlithe. After that, the game truly starts, as we're welcomed by the town mayor, Dalton. Hey, by the way, what happened to the previous gym leader? The last gym leader? Oh, don't ask. You don't want to know what we did to him. I'm in danger, aren't I? Let's get you started. This is Umbral City, our new home. There hasn't been a gym leader here for some time, meaning the city has become run down, pathetic, and overrun by criminals. So, Mr. Arsonist, the new gym leader, and his ace, Growlithe, have 3 main goals in this game. First, to get stronger and defend our gym badge against any challengers that dare to enter my gym. Second, overthrow the criminal gang to keep our city safe. And finally, turn this dump into the biggest money-making machine in the entire Pokemon universe. See, these green squares are empty plots of land, and in these, we can use our money to construct buildings that improve our city, attract tourists, and more importantly, generate sweet, sweet cash to fuel my new empire. But for now, we've got other problems. I'm a gym leader with literally 1 level 5 Pokemon. I may be the worst gym leader ever right now. So, I got to training my Growlithe incinerating the wild Pokemon population. Until a critical hit finished Growlithe in just 1 shot. Somehow, a gym leader had lost to a wild level 6 Rattata. So, do I have to give this wild rat a gym badge now? Is that how this works? Anyway, after a little more training, we can take on our first trainer battle, which Growlithe clears comfortably. Importantly though, after the battle, you can see that our reputation has risen by 10 points. Reputation is basically the measure of how good we are as a gym leader. A higher reputation progresses the story, while a lower reputation will literally get you fired as gym leader. So, reputation is pretty important. Back in Umbral City, the mayor shows us our house, and it's great that this game lets you live out the millennial fantasy of actually owning your own home. On the table is a welcome gift, the TM for Flamethrower. This TM is supposed to be given out to successful challengers, but I'm much more excited about using it for myself. With Flamethrower, our puppy becomes much more threatening. You can't just let yourself in, that's rude. Wow, finally a Pokemon game with the common decency to not break into random people's houses. After the failed intrusion, we head over to the town hall, which is being obstructed by this mysterious thug. Alright, now that I'm in charge, I'm renaming this dump into Garbage City. And is that name inspired by how you smell? Shut up. He claims to want to run the new gym leader out of the city, which sounds frightening until you realize that this man just tried to stage a coup armed with a level 4 Poochyena. Yeah, this guy is overthrowing nobody. After flamethrowers literally torch this man's entire team, he flees like the smelly coward that he is. Inside the town hall, the mayor gives us some critical information. For instance, if we lose too many battles in a row, I'll be fired as gym leader, or as I prefer to call it, promoted to unemployment. He also tells us that it's our job to keep the townspeople happy by helping them out with problems and improving the town by constructing buildings. Wait, aren't you the mayor? Isn't that your job? Shut up. So we've got a lot of work to do. We're still way too poor to afford any new buildings, so we head on home, and it's here that we have to make an important decision. We have to choose our gym guide. You know, the person who stands at the front of the gym, giving out water bottles and saying, "Hey, champ in the making." Basically, we've got 3 choices, and it's a risk versus reward trade-off. We can have harder gym challenges with higher reputation gains, or the opposite. But I mean, look at me. I can probably handle any challenger who dares to enter my gym. Besides, what's the worst that could possibly happen? Oh, right. Regardless, I still choose the hardest option since I'm a sucker for pain. On top of that, we're also given a number for the gym leader hotline. But what could a gym leader possibly need help with? I can't take it anymore. I've already lost to 32 10-year-olds just this week. Why do I have to use the stupid Venomoth? It's awful, and it's not even a psychic type. They keep bringing burn heals. It's not fair. Anyway, with the introductions out of the way, our gym is finally open for business. Except we need a minimum of 3 Pokemon before we can take on any challenges. So it was time to go hunting. I left our city behind and headed west, but honestly, all I found were these useless rock and ground types. That is, until I found this. A special form of Onyx that looks like a chimney. I'm getting some very strong Galarian wheezing vibes from this thing. Regardless, it's a part fire type, so I quickly caught the weird rock and named it Hot Rocks. Now we had another red hot Pokemon on our team, and I mean, all the great gym leaders have an Onyx, right? Yeah, I take that back. Despite that, our team size had doubled, and I was feeling great. That is, until I came across this trainer. And this guy is a nightmare. His Voltorb knows Sonic Boom, which, this early in the game, is deadly. Our Growlithe is quickly wiped off the map before Onyx is lowered to literally 1 HP. This means that the incoming Zubat can immediately finish us off, and yeah, once again, we had lost. So far, our gym badge has been earned by a wild rat and a random electrician going about his day. Not exactly a Pokemon Hall of Fame here, is it? Anyway, I continued my hunt for more fire types while also training up against the wild Pokemon to level up my team, until I stumbled across this trainer with a level 30 Lucario. What am I meant to do against this? Obviously, that happened. We were beaten down once again, however, our luck was about to turn, because while exploring a new nearby cave, I found an area called the Molten Steel Pit. And as the name implies, this is a fire-type paradise. Besides finding 2 really useful items in the Heat Rock and Charcoal, this area is also home to some new fiery friends. The first of which is Turtonator, an awesome fire dragon type who I immediately catch, naming it Raphael. On top of that, we can also find a Slugma named Balls. It's spelt like this. Get your mind out of the gutter. In quick succession, we also were able to find a Roly-Poly, as well as a Salandit that is basically useless since it's a male who will never be able to evolve. Now we've gotten a bunch of new Pokemon, but there's one more fire type we can hunt in this area, and I'm determined to find it. And let me tell you, this was painful, because this final fire type is so rare that I spent over an hour just trying to find it. But after what felt like an eternity, I was finally able to find Smeltix, an awesome fire steel type. Just look at how sick this thing is. So, naturally, I brought the giant snake down to low health before beginning to throw Pokeballs, and this thing just did not want to stay in the ball. However, I still had one left, one more shot, one more opportunity, and so, after sending my prayers to RNGesus, I fired off our final Pokeball, and are you kidding me? I hate you so much. Having wasted an hour of my life, I did what any sane person would do and went right back to waste even more. This time, equipped with even more Pokeballs. This time though, things went much smoother as I soon encountered another Smeltix, and this one was much more willing to cooperate, quickly joining our roster. But since we can only use 3 Pokemon in our gym, I decided to leave some of our extras in the daycare. I'm not saying that name. Come on, it's a requirement of your job. Fine, we'll raise your balls for a while. Get out of my store! Anyway, after assembling my 3 deadliest fire types, we return to our gym, ready to face our first challenger. This would be an intense, grueling debut where we would have to contend with the might of a level 3 Starly. I'm pretty sure that I just ended her entire career. These first few gym challenges really aren't much trouble, as we lay the smackdown all over this little guy's bug collection. But the next challenger thinks he's different. I'm gonna give it my all. You dare disgrace me by bringing a level 5 rat into my gym? After a hard day's work, we return to our apartment where I sleep soundly, knowing that I crushed the dreams of several children today. So, the next day, I returned to the gym for more gym leader duties, and the exact same Rattata guy came straight back. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson? I spent the rest of the day decimating the long line of pathetic trainers who dared step into my gym. And honestly, the Pokemon Center must be working overtime with the number of bodies that I'm sending them. After returning home, however, we're summoned by the mayor, who's happy with our work so far. But then, we're interrupted by this girl, Elizabeth. Basically, she has trust issues after the last gym leader went out for milk and never came back. Turns out she's the best trainer in town, and apparently we need to prove our strength. I already beat the Rattata guy twice. Isn't that enough? Apparently, it's not. So, we have to fight Elizabeth in the streets, and I am worried. We're about to face the strongest trainer in the whole city. What kind of powerful Pokemon could she possibly possess? Turns out, Elizabeth is a joke. Smeltix utterly annihilates her entire team in only a few turns, sending her to join the rest of our victims in the Pokemon Center. With that win, the mayor informs us that we've been promoted to Gym Leader Rank 1, which you can even see on our trainer card. Basically, this shows our progression through the game. Anyway, my city feels depressingly empty, but since I now have just enough money to construct a building, it was time to get to work. Having purchased the building plans from City Hall, I headed to a vacant lot where we would construct an amazing building and... Yep, that's definitely a building, I guess. Although, the builders didn't even add a door. So, I think I just got ripped off. Regardless, the more buildings we construct, the more money we make each day. So, I'm gonna need a lot more buildings if I want to become the capitalist overlord of this city. Now that we're a higher rank, our gym challenges are definitely getting stronger, but it's still not really enough to threaten us, as we basically just spam Flamethrower to incinerate their Pokemon to absolute shreds. Forget buildings, I think my town needs a burn victims hospital more than anything right now. After spending the next few days continuing to toss out gym challenges, as well as giving some items to the townspeople to keep them happy, our reputation was strong enough to be promoted to Gym Leader Rank 2. But the celebrations are cut short as we're ambushed by these thugs. Apparently, they're not happy with how I'm running the city. But dude, that's the mayor's job. Why are you looking at me? He's standing right there. But the thug refuses to listen, forcing us into a battle, and his team is definitely the strongest we've faced so far. However, flamethrowers from our Turtonator quickly burn his Scraggy to a crisp, and the Sandshrew that follows also suffers the same fate. Heracross does manage to bring our Turtle into the red, but this guy is a beast, quickly cleaning up the goon's final 2 Pokemon with some intense flamethrowers, sending them packing. The city is safe for yet another day, and with our new rank increase, now we can access the northern section of our town, which is the commercial village. Basically, it's full of empty plots of land, which I intend to use solely for the purpose of building my economic empire. There's also an area called Starter Park, but that's still inaccessible for now. Anyway, if we want to build our economic empire, we need more money, and it turns out that beating up 10-year-old gym challengers and swiping their pocket money just isn't all that profitable. So, in search of funds, I headed back out into the wild to continue exploring the surrounding area. And since the level of wild Pokemon scale in this game, we can quickly level up our team, which also allows our little roly-coly to evolve into a red-hot Carkol. With our upgraded team, we continued heading west until we reach the Badlands. This area is full of Rough Rider goons. You know, the same ones that tried to run me out of my own town. And I intend to get my revenge on these clowns by utterly annihilating each and every one of them, farming their entire bank accounts in the process. But you might be wondering, what could possibly be worse than the Badlands? That's right, the even Badlands. Although, the first thing I can see here is a green-looking zombie dude, so I want nothing to do with this place. Back in the Badlands, and sadly, we can't yet progress into the Rough Rider base. However, after extorting all of the goons in this entire postcode, and returning to our town to sell some of our items, we can finally get back to what this game is really about: money. Because now we have enough funds to buy one of the most expensive buildings. I immediately went to construct this behemoth in the center of our commercial district, and it looks just as plain as the previous one. But this would take my city to the next level. Previously, we were making a measly $500 per day. But with this huge investment in a new factory, we were about to start earning big. Okay, so you were making $500 per day, yeah? And now you are making $501 per day. Are you kidding me? That entire $25,000 factory is earning $1? I'm pretty sure I just got scammed. This is so sad. Can we get 5 new channel members to help Gym Leader Arsonist rebuild his wealth? Once again, we are broke, and I needed to vent my anger. So, remember that Lucario that we wiped to earlier? Yeah, I had my puppy Flamethrower get our revenge, melting the smug grin right off of Lucario's face. That'll teach you to spawn camp the early game trainers with a level 30. After clearing out a few more battles in this cave, as well as adventuring through this cool, icy cavern, now we've basically explored the entire area to the left of our city. Hey, I just moved out here. I hear the gym leader's gotten better. Yeah, and I hear that he's really cool, humble, and handsome too. Call me. Despite our poor financial position, overall, the townspeople seem pretty happy with me. For once, I decided to actually turn up for work and headed into the gym. Still using my tried and true trio, I took on the long line of challengers. And while they're definitely getting stronger, all that adventuring has made us pretty strong too. So it didn't take too long for us to end the Nuzlocke run of each and every one of these chumps. With the cash that we earned from destroying children in our gym, we can afford another building. And yes, I know that factory we bought was a total scam, but this time I'm investing in a museum like a real man of culture. So we built the finest museum I've ever seen. But I mean, come on, how is a museum going to generate profit for me? Anyway, let me just double check my earnings and... What? From 500 to 6,000 per day? How is a museum bringing in fat stacks like that? What is it? The Museum of Money Laundering? That's absurd. Regardless, now we can commence our master plan to make some real money. Because by taking on gym challenges, we quickly progress the day, giving us another fat stack of cash. And by repeating this process, we already have enough money to buy another building. Basically, the rich get richer, and I'm aiming to be the richest like no one ever was. So, I began taking on more gym challenges, who mostly just bring pathetic bugs. Man, my town could really use another hospital for all these buggy burn victims I'm sending. Anyway, it also turns out that the annoying Rattata trainer from earlier now has a Raticate. What a lovely little character arc. And it's dead too. After stomping the rest of our gym challenges, we settled down for the evening and... Wait, what? We're abducted? Yeah, so the Rough Rider goons have forcibly removed us from the town and are holding us prisoner in their base. Although, for some reason, these fools don't even bother to take our Pokémon away, so we can fight our way out of the base. However, these battles are not easy. There are so many goons here, and we've only got 3 Pokémon in our party, meaning our team is gradually being worn down. And this all culminates in one final double battle, which is a 6v2. But despite being outnumbered, our Smeltix and Turtonator are absolute beasts, slowly chipping away at the army of Pokemon in front of us. While Turtonator does fall in the process, one final Rock Slide from our smoking Smeltix clutches up, picking up a double KO and giving us the win. We had escaped the hideout and were now on our way back to safety, except then I ran into this guy. This spawn camping, good-for-nothing, pathetic little hiker. He may only be packing 1 Pokemon, but that Pokemon is a level 70 Tyranitar. This is so unfair. Obviously, my lone, weakened Smeltix is utterly annihilated, meaning we had lost, and this stupid hiker was added onto the list of warriors who had earned our gym badge. Anyway, escaping the hideout once again, and avoiding this man at all costs, we finally catch up with the mayor. Oh, I'm so glad that you escaped, Mr. Arsonist. Yeah, I mean, if I disappeared, you'd probably have to start actually doing your job. Shut up. This guy then comes out of nowhere. His name is Edgar, and apparently, he's the leader of the Rough Riders. He claims that his gang wouldn't do this because they don't kidnap people. Hello? I was literally just kidnapped by your people. Regardless, apparently we just let him go? Does nobody care that I was literally kidnapped? I had to drink my own pee in there. Anyway, we're elevated to Gym Leader rank 3, meaning we can now bring 6 Pokemon into each gym fight. But while we do have more fire types, the rest of our squad is kinda meh. So I wanted to explore the new area to the east of our city in search of new Pokemon. And straight away, I found this guy. He's selling fishing rods for a whopping $0. I have some serious questions about this guy's business model. The trainers in this area are no joke, boasting some pretty powerful Pokemon, including a level 55 Zoroark that we have to beat as part of a side quest. Thankfully, the EXP from these battles allows our little Carcol to blossom into its final form, Colossal, which now learns a new move, Tar Shot. And this is incredibly useful, because any Pokemon hit by it will become weak to fire, which, yeah, is pretty busted for our team. I continued exploring the eastern area through some pretty cool looking landscapes. Sadly though, I didn't find any fire types, although I did find a big gold nugget. This would fuel the next step of my economic empire. After returning to the city, I sold some of our useless items, meaning we now had over 50k. So, with our fat wad of cash, I marched straight into City Hall and bought 2 of the most expensive buildings possible. Alright, let's just build this here and... Hey, wait a minute, this looks exactly like the first crummy building. And the game continues to scam me because now I'm somehow earning less money than I was before. I have absolutely no idea how this game works. Something I do know a lot about though is a company that I'm very excited to partner with, Sakura-Co. If you're a fan of this channel, chances are that you also like Japanese culture, and that's where Sakura-Co comes in. Every month, Sakura-Co sources 20 of the best snacks from across Japan, combines them into one artisan snack box, and sends it right to your door, giving you a genuine taste of Japan. But it's more than just snacks. Each box also includes some Japanese tea and a unique piece of tableware. On top of that, each box comes with a guidebook that explains the theme for that month and gives you some interesting cultural background. It also goes into more depth about each of the snacks themselves, as well as the stories behind some of the independent businesses who make them. For example, this month's theme is the Ishikawa Prefecture. This area was hit by a devastating earthquake earlier this year, and so this particular box sources its snacks from across Ishikawa to help give some support to the small businesses who were affected. It's a great cause, and all of the snacks inside taste incredible, but I especially liked the Hojicha Mochi and the Red Bean Kinsuba. So, to help support some great small businesses in Japan, while also treating yourself to a genuine Japanese cultural experience, use the link in the description to sign up with Sakura-Co. And for a limited time, if you use this code at the checkout, you'll get a bonus $5 off your order. So, sign up today and taste Japan with Sakura-Co. Regardless, our city was on the rise, and things were about to get even better. Remember how we couldn't access Starter Park before? Well, now it's open. And as you can probably guess, this is where we can find the starter Pokemon. Literally all of them, even the ones that nobody likes. This place was my ticket to getting more fire types, as I quickly caught a bunch of new Pokemon, the highlights of which include Toriyama the Chimchar, VG See Ya Later the Litten, and Charizard Z the Charmander. And after getting a few levels on our new recruits, we had 2 absolute powerhouses added to our arsenal. But we're not done upgrading our team yet, because I just noticed this guy lurking in the Pokemon, and he actually sells evolution items, so we can finally buy ourselves a Firestone. With that, our starter pup can evolve into a much bigger, much hotter flamethrower, Arcanine. And I mean, just look at our team now. This is a red-hot team that is truly fitting of a Fire-type gym leader. I wanted to take our freshly upgraded team for a spin, so stepped up to face some challenges in our gym. These trainers are getting a lot stronger, with levels comparable to our own, and even some holding items. But we don't seem to match up against any water, rock, or ground Pokemon that would really threaten our Fire-type powerhouses. So these battles are relatively straightforward, as we add a few more bodies to the ever-growing graveyard outside my gym. After a hard day of incinerating beloved Pokemon, we return home to find a letter. Yo kid, this is Edgar, leader of the Rough Riders. It's about time we settle this. Settle what? Unless you're talking about a cash settlement for your gang abducting me. The letter invites us out to the Badlands, and strangely, he asks us to tell nobody. Now, look, I may have a low IQ and not be allowed to use scissors unsupervised, but I'm not an idiot. This gang has already abducted me once. I do not trust this man. So, like a sane person, I call the police, who will position some backup nearby, as well as informing the mayor of my situation. The next day, after preparing for war by teaching my Pokémon some new moves, I marched right over to the Badlands, ready to teach this clown a lesson. Being the smart man that I am, I willfully re-enter my former prison, where we confronted Edgar for a final showdown. If we lose, we have to leave the town for good, but if we win, the Rough Riders will leave us alone. So, we have to win this fight. The battle starts out pretty smoothly, as Edgar leads with Aggron. Despite being out-leveled, a few flamethrowers quickly melt down that steel type. But then, things start to feel grim as Edgar follows up with Tyranitar, a deadly rock type who can probably solo our entire team. I don't have any safe switches here, so just fire off my most powerful flamethrower and... I think we might be in trouble. For some reason though, Tyranitar responds with Brave Bird. Yeah, apparently this is a bird now. I'm expecting another Brave Bird, and since I desperately want to keep Arcanine alive, I switch into our Steel type, Smeltix. But unfortunately, after Edgar heals off his burn, Smeltix can't withstand Tyranitar's crunches, and before long, our Steel Snake goes down. Now the fight was evened up at 5v5. However, Infernape can secure us a quick revenge kill as close combat annihilates Tyranitar. And as if this guy's team isn't already strong enough, next he whips out a Metagross. Are you kidding me? I switch into Charizard as we get hit by Meteor Mash, which does enormous damage despite not being very effective. However, Charizard outspeeds, landing a super effective Blast Burn, and it still isn't enough to finish Metagross, as Game Freak's beloved son soon falls to another Meteor Mash. Once again, I send out Infernape. While Edgar does stall with a full restore, ultimately, it's not enough to stop Infernape from melting down that giant pile of metal with a few flamethrowers. We were barely ahead in this fight, but this is where it gets scary, because next in is Salamence. This thing is horrifying. It's so powerful and resists fire, making it a nightmare for Gym Leader Arsonist. I decide to play it safe, switching in Arcanine, whose Intimidate ability lowers the dragon's attack. This allows us to just survive a Dragon Claw, so we can at least land an extreme speed on the following turn before our big puppy goes down. I desperately need a way to deal with this demon, and my plan for that is to use Colossal. After setting up Stealth Rock, we hit Salamence with Tar Shot, meaning that it's now weak to fire moves. This allows Colossal to get the dragon low, but after Edgar heals with a full restore, our pile of rocks goes down, putting us on the back foot in what was now a 2 versus 3. However, with a super effective flamethrower, Infernape quickly evens the score, scorching that dragon right out of the sky, only for it to be replaced by another one. This is another awful matchup for Infernape, so I bring in Turtonator for a dragon-on-dragon showdown. We trade blows back and forth, but thankfully, Raphael the Turtonator can just survive one last crunch before another Dragon Pulse wipes Garchomp off the map. This brings Edgar down to his final Pokémon, Hydreigon. Yeah, this guy really pulled up with a team of 6 pseudo-legends. Despite Turtonator being crushed by the 3-headed dragon, we still have our absolute beast of an Infernape. And with one final, super effective close combat, Hydreigon is sent to the Shadow Realm, and Mr. Arsonist had somehow overcome a full team of pseudo-legends. Edgar was defeated and concedes that the Rough Riders will finally leave us be. We exit the cave and are promoted to Gym Leader rank 4 as a reward. That last battle gave us a nice little cash bonus, which I decided to use on buying us another museum, because every town needs several museums, right? Anyway, let's see if that will have any effect on my daily revenue forecast, and oh my god, $24,000! We're gonna be rich! This town is gonna be bigger than Goldenrod by the time I'm done. Our town's momentum is growing rapidly. Now back in our gym, and the rank 4 challenges are absolutely no joke. But I mean, we just beat a full team of pseudo-legends. So, by comparison, these fights are very straightforward. At this point, there's also a side quest where, basically, our gym guide's brother is in town, but apparently he's a wanted criminal. So, along with our gym guide, we track down and confront this rebel. Okay, wait, so what did you actually do to become such a criminal? I'm a bad guy. I reused a joke, and I was foolish enough to not be subscribed to Keegan J. You sicken me. We have to fight the hardened criminal, and while he does have a terrifying Toxapex that blasts through literally half of my team, fortunately, the rest of his Pokemon don't pose too much of a threat, allowing us to pick up a pretty safe win. But more importantly, for completing the quest, we get a fat boost to our reputation. Now our town is making serious cash, but it's not enough for me. I need more money, more power. So I took all my cash and reinvested it back into the city, quickly constructing 3 new buildings. Now just let me check my updated daily revenue forecast and, oh my god, $100,000 every single day? This is crazy. I'm about to go absolutely wild and ball out. Our stonks were through the roof, but we still need to keep the townspeople happy. And I'm definitely not giving them any of my precious money. So instead, we complete some menial side quests like donating our useless potions, finding a lost Pokeflute, and solving some riddles in a nearby cave. Most of the rewards are just reputation increases. However, this lady gives us a special Torchic that knows extreme speed. But I've already got my firefighting type sorted. So generally, the poor townspeople seem pretty happy towards their greedy dictator of a gym leader. So I return to my gym to take on some new challenges. These fights are tough though, like this trainer who only uses evolutions, including a Vaporeon who wiped out over half of my team. Regardless, our fire types still managed to overcome the EV-loving artist, only for her to challenge me again straight away for a rematch. Seriously? You want to catch these hands again? Anyway, after another successful day ruling over our gym, as well as another $100,000 added into our account, we hear a commotion coming from outside. It turns out that the champion has come to visit, and he's here to see us. Probably because no one can beat our gym, which is putting the Pokemon League out of business. Although instead, he's here to test our skills. So I prepare for an intense fight, ready to claim another victory. However, that's not what happened, because Champion Garrison then whips out a full team of level 50s. He leads with his very own Smeltix, who I do manage to barely make it past, but then the champion sends in Gengar. And let me tell you, this guy is a demon. It wants blood. Because this absolute demon then proceeded to sweep my team right into the trash like it's nothing. We didn't even stand a chance, as this ghost just spits in my face repeatedly. Having embarrassed me like that in front of my entire town, the champion states that we're clearly skilled enough to be elevated to gym leader rank 5. Gee, thanks. I feel really skillful now, champ. After witnessing my whole team get thrown into the trash like that, clearly, we needed our team to get a lot stronger to stand any chance of conquering this game. So, I took the money I'd made and invested all of it into building up my team by buying good held items as well as a stack of TMs. Basically, I'm paying to win, baby. And once our team was trained up into the 50s, we were finally ready to move forward. Our upgraded team makes these rank 5 gym challenges a breeze. Now we've got much better strategies like Shell Smash Turtonator, who can boost up its stats before sweeping through this guy's evolutions again, sending them to the glue factory. On top of that, we've also got Sunny Day on Arcanine now, boosting up our fire moves, clearing us to utterly scorch our enemies with some supercharged flamethrowers. After another day of pummeling challenges and making them regret their career choices, the story starts to get spicy as we receive a mysterious letter. All it says is this: meet me in the gym, tell nobody. So, once at the gym, the man confronts us, claiming to have something important to tell us. But apparently, before he does that, he needs to see exactly what kind of gym leader we are by taking us on in battle. Mystery Man steps up to the plate, looking like he's about to rob me of my precious money. The Mystery Man uses normal types, including a Furret. Okay, I take it back. Who could possibly be evil if they have a Furret on their team? Unfortunately, Furret's cuteness doesn't stop it from being absolutely roasted, as Arcanine proceeds to wipe out his first 3 normies with some sun-boosted flamethrowers. His Pokemon are strong, but from here, we can gradually chip away at his team, with Infernape delivering a close combat right to the jaw of his final Eevee, knocking it out and giving us a very comfortable win. But more importantly, after the fight, the Mystery Man drops a knowledge bomb that he is the previous gym leader who abandoned the city. What a surprise! He only comes back after I turn the city into a profit-making machine. Anyway, his name is Jason, and he explains that he left the city due to receiving heavy threats, and warns us that whoever threatened him will likely come for us next. He pleads with us not to back down and fight for the city. Okay, so naturally you're gonna stand by my side and help me fight for the city, right? No. After Jason leaves, having abandoned our city for the second time, we're promoted to Gym Leader rank 6. The story may be spicing up, but we've got much more important, much more profitable things to deal with first. Because, my greedy capitalist friends, our city is really coming together, but I want to build it up even more. So, I invested our hard-earned money into building even more buildings for our commercial district. And as a result, our daily revenue now is 600k. We are raking in fat stacks. And with my newfound wealth, it was time to buy some revenge. Because remember that loser with the overpowered level 70 Tyranitar who wiped me out earlier? Yeah, well now it's my turn. We're a lot stronger than we used to be, so I return to put him in his place. This fight is still not easy though, as a close combat from Infernape just isn't enough to get the KO before our monkey is thrashed into oblivion. The hiker then heals, making things problematic. However, by hitting Tyranitar with Colossal's Tar Shot, we make it weak to fire. And from here, one last flamethrower from Game Freak's favorite son is all we need to burn that rocky pseudo to a crisp. Our reward is a huge reputation increase, and after returning home, our money was getting out of control. There's not much space left in our city, but I wanted to see just how absurdly rich we could possibly get. So, I used all my money to fill in every last piece of available land in the entire city. Our capitalist masterpiece of a money-making machine was finally complete, and so, our final daily income comes to 4.3 million! We are rich! Screw beating the champion, I'm just gonna buy the Pokémon League and elect myself as the champion. Or better yet, I'll just retire. Look at my bank account. To flex my millions, I went and bought 99 rare candies just because I could. And after being promoted to Gym Leader rank 7, we were on top of the world. But unfortunately, things were about to take a turn for the worst. Because we're handed a letter, which reads, "We commend you, arsonist. You're a better gym leader than we thought. However, we demand that you cease all actions as gym leader immediately, or there will be consequences. Any mention of this to the police will be noticed and dealt with. We know that you met with the previous gym leader and are confident that you will make the right choice." Wait, what? Turns out the previous gym leader was right, and as much as I'd just love to flee town with my millions, we don't get a choice, and notify the police about the letter. But it's too late as we're informed that all of our gym trainers have gone missing. The mayor then orders us to go and search the Rough Riders' hideout. Dude, I'm being hunted right now. Why don't you get off your chair and do something for a change, you geriatric freeloader? No. Regardless, it was time to settle this once and for all. Who is sending these threats? Can we even stop them? And most importantly, is my money safe? And the only way to answer these questions is to once again return to the Badlands, ready for war. Once we arrive at the Rough Rider base though, we find their leader, Edgar, at the entrance. That jerk of a mayor of yours just barged right in and kicked me out. Wait, the mayor actually did something for a change? You fool! Don't you get it? The mayor employed us to get you kicked out of Umball City. That's right, the conniving mayor is the true villain behind all of this. And so, we head into the Rough Rider base, where we finally confront the old man. After Edgar gets absolutely slapped to the floor, seemingly also killing his Pokémon in the process, the mayor tries to explain his actions. Basically, he became a mayor because he wanted to help people and be respected. However, people only respect the gym leader, so the old man feels underappreciated. Okay, hear me out though. Have you actually tried doing your job and earning the respect of the people? No, that's a stupid idea. Unable to be reasoned with, the mayor challenges us to one final showdown, where the loser will leave town for good. This fight is not going to be easy though, as the mayor has a full team of 6 powerful Pokémon. He opens with his Dusclops, as I go with our trusted ace, Arcanine. I immediately fire off a super effective Crunch, but the damage is pathetic. This thing is so bulky. Dusclops responds with Toxic, and I need to keep Arcanine alive, so switch out into Smeltix as Dalton heals. Since my Steel-type Smeltix can't be poisoned, I try setting up a Curse to boost my stats. However, in a strange twist, Mayor Dalton also uses Curse, afflicting Smeltix in the process. This forces me to switch again, as Dalton also heals again. This time, I go into Colossal and just hit Dusclops with Tar Shot, as I desperately need this thing gone. We're hit by Toxic in the process, but Colossal also sets up a Stealth Rock to chip away at the rest of Dalton's team, before once again bringing out Arcanine. Our starter pup is able to change the weather with Sunny Day, although we're crippled by Toxic and Curse damage in the process. However, thanks to the sun and our earlier Tar Shot, a single flamethrower from Charizard is all we need to wipe Dusclops off the map. But that was so much effort just to KO the mayor's first Pokemon. Anyway, he follows up with Rhydon, who tries to Fire Punch my Charizard for some reason. Thanks to a lucky burn from Flamethrower, we can just outlast Rhydon, quickly incinerating his second Pokemon. Next in is his Goodra, and since I'm locked into using Flamethrower by my Choice Scarf, I switch into Smeltix. But we take big damage from Goodra's Outrage, so I'm only able to land a single Ice Fang onto the Gooey Dragon before Smeltix is all washed up by Muddy Water. But this clears Charizard to re-emerge, as a Dragon Claw instantly gets the revenge on Goodra. However, Dalton follows up with his Dragonite, and this is where things get scary, because a Dragon Claw from Charizard isn't enough to get the job done, allowing Dragonite to set up a Dragon Dance, making it incredibly dangerous. And as proof of this, on the next turn, it outspeeds our Charizard, executing it with Dragon Claw. Out of desperation, I send in our ace Arcanine, and with my fingers crossed, click Extreme Speed, which goes first, and just isn't enough to get the kill. As a result, Arcanine also falls, and this is looking deadly, as we've only got 3 Pokemon left. However, one of them is our absolute beast of an Infernape. Our Muck Punch has priority, allowing us to quickly finish off the incredibly deadly Dragonite. And while the Mayor still has 2 Pokemon left, the first of them is Scizor, who is utterly decimated by a quad-effective Flamethrower. And his final Pokemon is another Steel type in Aegislash. With 2 shots of our signature Flamethrower, Aegislash is melted down into scrap, meaning that we had somehow defeated the evil Mayor. With that, we'd attained the highest gym leader rank possible, the useless Mayor was behind bars, and our city was a thriving money-making machine. Meaning, we had finally completed Pokemon This Gym of Mine. Jump into this video next for more Pokemon content, and subscribe to the channel because it really helps me out. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.